Hello people, my name is Rage and welcome one and all to Hearthstone Deck Building 101. Yes, it has been a while since I've done one of these episodes, so if you're not sure what is going on here, it works thusly. I am going to be building a unique-ish deck, one that's certainly not popular in the meta, that lets you play something that's a little bit more fresh instead of hunter, 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 and not forgetting, of course, hunter. And then my objective and my want is for you guys to learn something, learn a few new ways of thinking and putting cards together, maybe edit my base deck that I'm going to come up with, and overall become better players. I think it's, it's a really nice sort of mutual theory crafting session. And today is going to be a sort of revisiting, maybe follow-up to one I did a while ago, where I made an early aggressive aggro paladin way before it was even actually a thing. And now that Nax has been added to the game, you can make it even stronger. So we want our Blessing of Might. It is a very good card. Now, this is also a really cool deck because it does involve a lot of Paladin secrets. It really does. You can do some really cool shenanigans, especially with the new event, which actually isn't too horrible. So, what secrets are we going to use? Yes, redemption. Yes, noble sacrifice. So we have 6 secrets, which is really nice. We want our double equalities just for big board clears, and we want our divine favors to restock our hands after we spam everything out. We want our true silvers mainly for hitting face, and we want our consecrates for clearing. That will do for paladin cards right now, just as the base of the deck. Now, if we look at Nax cards and see what it can really add to this, we have Undertaker as a lovely one opening play, and then Mad Scientist, who work with our mass amounts of secrets, and also works nicely with the Undertaker. Now, what I love about this deck, guys, what I really enjoy, is that this deck can viably use Secretkeeper. Like, it's really, actually, genuinely strong, and I think that's really neat. So, we've got a really nice core of the deck. Now, we do need a few charges just to bring things home in the late game. Of course, Leroy, the cancer that he is going to be part of this, and honestly, to be fair, we could get away with only using him, but just in case you don't end up drawing him, I do like to put in one Arcane Golem as a pseudo Leroy, if you will. I also quite enjoy having a Hammer of Wrath, just for that potential face damage, and for a tiny little bit of extra draw. Now, you don't want your curve to be too high in a deck like this, of course not, because that would be ridiculous. So I also do like one Avenging Wrath, just because it does have some nice amount of oomph power in the late game. So we are working with early Death Rattle type stuff. So if we sort of round this out with some Leper Gnomes, which are obviously great in aggressive decks, and then finally a Loot Hoarder, because it's nice to draw cards, and it does synergize with the Death Rattles. Now, you can also, for example, get rid of the Arcane Golem and put in a Death Lord if you want to be a little bit more defensive and add in an extra Death Rattle. There's lots of little changes you can make, but this right here is the Paladin aggressive deck. A lot of secrets, they work really well. For example, redemption, triggering, bringing back the Mad Scientist, putting in another secret, really filling out your deck. A turn 1 Secretkeeper, coin a avenge or coin a redemption, buff it up. It works really nicely, and you can get some really powerful early aggression. Now, the only thing about this deck is it's not, well, I mean, you'll see when we play a game, it's certainly not use this deck. You need to think about how it's going to flow, but I really wanted a deck to actually use Secretkeeper, and they work in early aggression with low-cost secrets that Paladins do provide. I think Mad Scientist is very underutilized when it comes to Paladin, and you can do some cool stuff with this. So what we're going to do is jump into a ladder game and see how this deck functions. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, in the game. We will be testing out the keep it secret, keep it safe Paladin. Now, I'm only ranked 12 because, of course, the season reset, and I haven't had that much time to constantly grind and play, but I've been legend twice with capping out at 180 legend, so I have been you know, fairly high up, nothing crazy, but certainly not bad. So I think I'm in a good place to be able to accurately come up with decks and actually do things. Now, hopefully we get an okay opening here. Nothing brilliant, but at least we do have a 1-drop. This is a fairly opening hand, especially against Zoo, which our prol here is most likely going to be, because you don't see many handlocks at rank 12, because they tend to move through the ranks quite quickly, because they're quite good against a lot of the decks that you do see, i.e. Hunter. Although Hunter, to be fair, does have a good matchup against handlock, because Hunter's mark does shred through giants, and you can apply a lot of pressure, and you do have a lot of reach. You can kill command and hero power through their golems, etc., etc. So what I'm going to do here is hopefully, I would have been really happy if I'd drawn another secret, but because he has a Flame Imp on the field, I don't need to bother dealing with it, because it will die to Noble Sacrifice really nicely, so I can just start some really nice early aggression here. Now, I've had a bad opening hand, all things said and done, but I do already have him down to 22 on turn 2, which is really nice. I mean, the Flame Imp has obviously helped a lot with that, but he is in a very difficult position already. The question remains, is he going to suss what secret I have played? Is he going to still be of the mindset that it's going to be a Noble Sacrifice? And he's going to check, and I get to kill the Flame Imp for free and keep my 5 free alive, which at worst is going to get soul fired, but I still get value out of that because it's already done quite a lot. Annoyingly, I'm going to have to punch through the 1 free wall here, but hopefully he ends his turn, and he does! And I even draw something I can nicely play on curve. Isn't that just lovely? Which is going to buff up my Secretkeeper even more. Isn't this lovely? A deck that actually makes Secretkeeper work really, really nicely. Now, I must warn you, this deck is not good against heavy control types, Warrior and the like. It just doesn't work that well. So you gotta be aware of that when you choose to actually use this deck and have a play around with it. But against sort of Zoo, Hunter, more aggro, hell, even Miracle Rogue, it does have a very good chance of winning because it does apply a lot of pressure. But I'd recommend tinkering around with the card choices, the actual amounts, whether you want late game or early game stuff, because I think you'll find some slightly more efficient ways of doing it. I just quickly threw this together from an idea that I had, so you have to bear that in mind. So we do get our 1-1 back, which is nice, and we do have our Noble Sacrifice here. Actually, I am tempted just to Consecrate, but because I do have a quality, I'm going to leave that alone and more than likely do that. Now, he might just throw the 1-1 away into the Noble Sacrifice, which is very unfortunate for me. Now, I would really like to draw some draw power. That would be glorious, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I kind of need my Loot Hoarders here more than Divine Favor, because obviously he doesn't have that many cards, so I won't draw that many. The best thing for me is if he plays an early Doomguard here, because then I can kill it with the Equality and Consecrate combo while doing more damage to his face. But it's whether he will risk it. I think he is actually hovering over a Doomguard, because that's the only decision you'd have to make now if you want to give up 2 of your hand or just keep playing things. So he's going to try and juggle my 1-1 here. Hopefully he does miss, and he does. Meaning, aha, beautiful, we have the Loot Hoarder. That is very, very good. So we are going to Consecrate and play the Loot Hoarder. Although he does get a lot back if I do that, but also in the same vein, I get a lot of value out of it myself, because I'm going to kill the 1-2 with my 1-1, play my loot. Actually, there's no real point to kill the 2-1, because it's going to hit me anyway, and I'd rather just do a point of damage to him. I'm going to draw an extra card with that, so I'm going to have a double draw to work with next turn, and he's on 15 health. I have the Leroy, so I need to hit him for another 9. Now, drawing a True Silver pretty much does that. Nerubian Egg, not a threat at all. Yep, there we go, that's going to take that out. Secretkeeper, not ideal at this stage in the game. This is the disadvantage of this card, obviously, sometimes. Him playing the Dwarf now is interesting. He's obviously feeling the pressure, not saving it to actually pop that Nerubian Egg. That's a good draw, Mad Scientist, because again, it does pull a secret onto the field, thins out the deck some more, makes it more likely we're going to get to the good stuff. I think 2 Avenging Wraths probably in this deck would make it better, and I've also not seen my Deathlord, which does wonders against a Zoo deck like this. In fact, a Deathlord draw there would have been great as well. So he is tapping, which is good for me. Every bit of damage really does help. He can't clear me right now unless he does use something from his hands, and the secret is going to help lovely. I imagine the 2-1 will go into my 2-2, unless he has a way of buffing up my egg in order... My egg, yes, it's my egg now! Haha! And we get a redemption, which is... Well, redemption's okay if I draw a Blessing of Might. And there we go, it returns to us. So that is clearly not a Doomguard, as I imagine he's about to... No, he's not about to play it. Oh, we did actually draw the Blessing of Might. Have we won? 9, 10, very close to it. Very, very close to it. Now, the annoying thing is here, is that he is eventually going to draw a Defender of Argus, which is basically going to ruin my dreams. We just have to play the numbers and hope that that doesn't happen. I'm not in any real danger of dying. Oh, I need to top deck 1 freaking damage. One of the damages. Ha! That's awesome! That means he doesn't get the 4-4. That was a really bad juggle for him. He actually did quite the risk there. Hopefully he's finished playing cards after this. This is our last turn to draw the damage that we need. Come on! Come on! Divine Favor. Wait, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's exact. It's exact. Oh, no. Oh, no. That is unfortunate. Well, we're at least going to find out, ladies and gentlemen, what we would have drawn. That, ladies and gentlemen, is about right. Wait, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ah, I actually just gave him lethal. We'll see if he sees it. He might not. It is exact lethal. He doesn't have any space on the board. He might just be too tempted to instantly kill Leroy with the egg for some perceived value. Although if he killed Leroy with the egg, he'd do 1 damage to me in knife juggles anyway, so it wouldn't actually make a big difference. That is very, very upsetting that that is what we drew. The worst time for Divine Favor. So close to bringing this guy down, even with a very slow, bad start. And that really is the power of the deck. What's the plan, Warlock Man? What is the plan? Oh, has he realised? Has he finally done basic math? I think he has, guys. I think he has. He's done basic math. No! Oh, that is a shame. Oh, come on. He could at least do style points. Killed Leroy with the egg. Kill me with a knife. Ah, I thought he'd miss lethal there. That would have been so good. Oh, he had a Soulfire anyway. Well, there we go. Well played, my ass. You're playing Zoo. Congratulations on building someone else's deck. So there you have Paladin, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to play one more game because that was just, irritatingly close, and I really want to give it another go. Although I am actually going to use this opportunity, I think, to slightly adjust the deck. I think, well, to be fair, no, what? I'm gonna play it like this. I think it's got some potential. So we're gonna keep going and play one more game because that was so aggravatingly close. It really, really was. Honestly, in hindsight, I should have done some quick mathematics in my head and not played Leroy there. But as we saw, it wouldn't have made a difference because of the Dwarf and because of the Soulfire. So it's not the end of the world. And we face a Warlock once again. It's so typical that we're not facing Hunters, which this deck is really good against. But, you know, I shouldn't be surprised. Like, 70% of the ladder is Hunters, but we're not allowed to face any Hunters. We do get a turn 1 though, however, which is very, very fortuitous. And in fact, double Loot Hoarder, turn 2, and then a Loot Hoarder with Redemption is great, because getting a double draw out of a Loot Hoarder is really, really good value. It's basically 1 mana, draw a card, so it turns it into a Flare, and a Flare is obviously an auto-include in every single Hunter deck, at least 1 copy of it, especially with Hunter versus Hunter being so prominent. Flaring away secrets is so very good. Are we going to see... Well, there's not much he could play on... Yeah, there we go. That is the one thing he could play on 2 mana, which actually really does help him here. I may actually just play both the secrets and attack him in the face, because then not only will I get the defender back, it will kill this. I don't know. I either play the loot hoarder or play both the secrets. I think it makes more sense to play the loot hoarder. Just to dig deeper into my deck at this stage is a lot more effective, because I need more tools in order to bring him down a lot faster than last time. I say a lot faster than last time. I was a damage off. Which is he going to kill? And it is the gnome, which is very good for me, because it means I can definitely redemption a loot hoarder and get that mad value. Does he even have a 2-drop? He seems to be considering a lot. I mean, if he's got a knife juggler, that's terrible, because I get to kill it with a loot hoarder. Flame Imp, however, is a lot better, but still not crazily good. So we're going to play the other loot hoarder, and we're going to redemption, which means he's going to have to use all 3 attacks just to get through my loot hoarder army, and it's going to refuel my hand because I'm going to have 4 extra cards next turn, which is really, really lovely. In fact, Leroying with a noble sacrifice against a board that's near empty is actually kind of good, because it's likely that he'll survive because of the noble sacrifice. So there we go. Yep, come on, do your attacks. I believe in you. Well done. True Silver is absolutely fantastic at this stage. And redemption. I love the wing animation for it. I think it looks so cool. Bring back the loot hoarder. And there we go. One more. And Divine Favor at this stage is actually okay. And he's ignoring it as well, which is very key. Hopefully he only plays one thing here. He does, meaning he has 4 cards, although I'll go to 5 cards. It's not the best value, actually. But what is suddenly good value is to play the Deathlord with a Noble Sacrifice and hit him in the face once more. He's not going to get through that Deathlord very easily, and if he thinks he's going to rely on an attack to do so, he's going to get randomly, get down! And my bro, Mr. Defender, is going to have me covered. This is why there's a good argument to put 2 Deathlords in this deck, because it does synergize with the Undertaker, which we've not seen one of, actually. Like, did I even put it in the deck, or did I really mess up? Because I feel like I did. It's a really strong opening, Undertaker. Like, if my 1-drop had been an Undertaker into multiple loot hoarders, he would have got absolutely out of control. So let's see if he does have a plan of getting through this. So a Soulfire is the only way he gets through it, and even with a Soulfire, because of that get down, and he chose the worst one to potentially trigger the secret, there it is, and lovely. So he is going to injure it a little bit, but that's fine by me. Hopefully, oh, another True Silver. That is kind of awkward. That is very much awkward. So what I could do is... do I want to do that on there and then True Silver that? And I feel... well, that's got 1 less attack, actually. So I think this is the sensible option. Draw another card. We have a Redemption, which isn't good against a Deathlord because it just triggers his Death Rattle twice. So we don't want to do that. So we're going to put on a True Silver here. And we are going to kill that, and then hit him in the face with the Deathlord. There we go. So he still cannot actually kill the Deathlord with what he has on the field, which is absolutely fantastic. I really don't want to play this Redemption, however, because giving him extra things is actually bad at this stage, and I really want to start hitting him in the face with the True Silver, because it's a lot of damage, and I really want the ability to Divine Favor as well. Now, next turn I do have 6 mana, so I can probably play whatever I draw, play the Redemption, and then Divine Favor, which is obviously very, very good for me. But we'll see. A Consecrate would actually be lovely as well, because that's obviously a very good card against the zoo. But what do you have for me, Mr. Rashkal of the Rashkal clan? Ooh, he's going for a juggle. He is going for a juggle, but is he going to get it? Really? Who plays ooze in zoo? Yeah, good. There we go. Karma, fuck you. That's really irritating, actually. Let's hope beyond hope, ladies and gentlemen, that we, Heart of the Cards, guide me, consecrate! Oh, that is very, very, very much glorious, I have to say. And then we'll hit him in the face once again. So we are doing fairly well this time. Between Leroy and True Silver, as well as Divine Favor, we should definitely have enough fuel to actually close out this game. In fact, next turn... oh, I need turn 8 to do the 10 damage. Echoing Ooze, not a big deal. Although, yeah, I was just going to say, actually, if a Defender of Argus is, that's a problem. Now, let's see what we get. Hopefully not a Doomguard. Are we serious right now? 20 cards in his deck, he gets a Doomguard, does he? Is that what happens there? He gets a Doomguard. That's brilliant. That's really brilliant. No, that makes me really happy, actually, that he got that. Like, really happy, you know, that the Doomguard is there. I think that's really fair, generally speaking, that he did do that. So we've got 7 damage on the field. I have 10 damage in my hand. So if I top deck a Blessing of Might, I win the game. I cannot believe he got a Doomguard. What are the chances? This is why I go so backwards and forwards on Deathlord. While it's on the field being a badass wall, I'm like, this card is awesome. But then when it dies and does this, I'm like, this card should never be played in any deck ever. Oh, okay. Come on, Rashkal. You got this. Go on, life tap for me. Do it. I want you to do it. He's got his other Doomguard, doesn't he? If he has his other Doomguard, that means it was a 1 in 20. A 1 in actual 20. Okay, so I have this turn to draw something that will win me the game. Please, please, heart of the cards. Oh, lovely. Absolutely lovely. To be fair, even with the Blessing of Might, we obviously have the Divine Favor. Let's see what the next 2 would have been. Another Divine Favor and a Mad Scientist. So there we go. Another fairly close game against a Zook. So that is my Secret Paladin. An interesting approach to a more aggro, using Mad Scientist, using Secretkeeper, cards that you don't often see. That's what I love doing with my decks, playing cards that you don't often see. So we'll have another quick look at the deck list, and that is about it. Thank you for watching this Deck 101. I do have Undertakers in here, just apparently not allowed them. Either way, my name's been Rage. Remember to like if you enjoyed this and subscribe for more. Oh, goodbye. You've been watching